Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2018 Career Mode, episode number 90. And this could be it. We are right at the end of La Vuelta. It's stage number 20 of 21. We're in a strong position, but we've got a tough 20th stage here. It's only 102 kilometers, and it is one climb after another, and to the finish. Quintana, Bernal, Yates, Bardet, Solomon the favorites. We are not on that list, so what can we do to maintain our position overall? We'll soon find out.
Taking a page out of the Tour de France organizer's book, the Vuelta offers up a short, action-packed mountain stage. Coming as it does on the last day of competitive racing, this should be quite some day. The route begins in Escaldes and Gordani and finishes on the first category called the Gallina. In between lie the second category called the Comella, the first category called the Beixalis, the first category called the Ordino, and again the called the Beixalis and called the Comella, all inside 105.8 kilometers. Whoever's on top after that deserves their red and polka dot jerseys. Madrid, here we come.
Alright, you heard the man. It's a big stage. Whoever wins will be very deserving of it, and we are going to desperately hang on to a front position as best we can. Gegenhardt, Asgreen off the front, so there's going to be some strong riders in the breaks. Swervel's got a +3 today, Cohen's got a +2, Simpson's got a +1, Hamilton has a +1, Conchi and Vervecchi on -1s, and Vervecchi just now getting to the front. There we go, that's everybody. Let's go ahead and set these guys up. We're already at the base of the first climb. It's a relentless day. Breakaway forming quite a few riders off the front right now. Let's set everyone up first for a defensive move, and then let's see here. Veldeman, protect Hamilton. Vervecchi on a -1 is not good. Protect Conchi, and let's protect Swerble. Swerble's looking pretty good, so we're going to need him late on. Hamilton is 7th overall.
Attack by Kelderman.
Wow, look at the fatigue already setting in these guys. So just from the pace here by Sky, already doing significant damage. Guys are red bar faded and starting to struggle a little bit to keep their position. We have 16 riders off the front. That's a pretty big group. Already 6 riders out the rear end. So we're going to be shedding riders like crazy on this 20th stage. You can see we're blinking red at an 89. I don't mind sliding back a little bit because we'll recover this. It's 1K from the top. Veldeman is the one we keep an eye on to make sure he can hold. Cohen's going backwards a little bit faster right now. But as we go over the top, breakaways down to 14 riders and Peloton down to 73. 72, 68 now. So as we go down, it looks like it's actually decreasing in size. 2 more riders lost off the front, maybe? No, not quite, but here we go again. First climb done, second climb, here we come. Veldeman has not quite recovered yet, so this is going to hurt him a lot. Simpson also just now getting back into place, and you can see just how much the yellow bars have faded. Simpson, Cohen, Veldeman, DeVos all struggling, and we're only on the second climb of the day. We're only a handful of kilometers into this thing, and it has been an all-out attack from the get-go. Veldeman about to get dropped. Okay, here we go. Slow this down. Veldeman, Cohen, Simpson all getting dropped here. Set these guys to auto. Simpson, we're going to have to set him to auto. And that's 3 out the back. We're down to 63 in the peloton. No, even fewer. DeVos has been dropped. And we're down to just our first 4 riders now. Let's slow this up. And wow, look at how much we are hurting. And we're still 3K from the top. I'm going to let these guys ride solo for a little bit because I'd like to see all 4 of them get over. Peloton has just 26 riders in it. And we're already collecting numerous breakaway riders. 22 left in the Peloton. Hamilton, Conchi hanging on. Vervecchi and Swerble dropped momentarily. Vervecchi going backwards. And he's dropped. 22 left in the Peloton. Conchi might make it over the top, might not. He's in a group of about 9 riders that are about to get dropped, including Sagan. Will they hang on? They are right on the back end of this thing, and Conchi is with Sagan. He is with Sagan. He did not make it. 21 left in the Peloton. That's it after just 2 climbs. There's 4 to go. There's 4 climbs to go. And we're down to 2 riders left at the front. We're going to need water. I think we can make it 1 more climb, and then we'll only have to do water once the whole way, so we're going to hold off on that. Meanwhile, Conchi, how we doing? I'd love to see you get back on. He's not far behind. About 50 seconds. And that's to the front of the Peloton. If he can make contact, that would really help. Man, oh man, this is crazy. I knew this was going to be a tough stage, but this is brutal. Up we go. On to the 3rd climb. Hamilton mostly recovered. Swerble recovered a bit. Conchi almost making contact, but I don't think it's going to happen. Here goes Sagan actually stepping in. He's going to help out. Mühlberger made it back, so 22 in the Peloton, just 4 off the front any longer. So Conchi, Sagan, here they go. Sagan pulling it back in, and we're back to 24. Conchi, though, is not going to last long. Let's use his gel. Now, this right now is the biggest climb of the day. And the fact that we're already down to 24 is really saying something here. We're going to keep an eye on Swerble, and we're probably going to end up having to use his gel on this climb, I would imagine. But the pace, not like it was before. Kwiatkowski leading the way for Team Sky. Pulling at the front, and ooh, hello, we're growing. Vervecchi is back. Let's go ahead and use his gel. We're up to 34. This was what I was about to say, is the pace has slowed significantly on this climb. Damage has been done. It's a small group. Now we ride at a different tempo than before, which is good for this biggest climb of the day. Vervecchi, though, struggling at the back, as is Conchi. Vervecchi, Conchi both dropped, along with Reichenbach, Van Hooydonk, and Mühlberger again. Valverde getting on the verge of being dropped anyway. Not officially yet.
There's a breakaway.
Valverde dropped. De La Cruz, Asgreen, Sagan again. Kelderman has been dropped. Schachmann, Chernetsky, Vincent, Geniez all dropped. Just 20 left in the Peloton. Garcia Cortina, surprised he hasn't been dropped already, but he's on the verge, and he's out the back now, officially just before the top. 19 left in the Peloton. Swerble just making it over the top, but it's a long descent, so he will recover. Ben King dropped just before the top. He is the KOM leader. Getman hanging on. Yeah, just hanging on. We just picked up one of the breakaway riders, one of the 4, so there are 3 left off the front, and they've actually got a pretty decent gap as we went much slower over that climb.
The riders are going to be more and more on their guard.
They're just over a minute lead, is now a 2-minute lead. Meanwhile, there are 19 left. Moss, Bookman, there's Roglic, Yates, Bardet, Mader, and Quintana are here. Nibali is here. Kwiatkowski still working at the front, and Julian Alaphilippe working at the front. You can see his mountain rating is a 76. Hills, of course, is the monstrous 83, as he is the best in that, and resistance of an 82. So Clenchey, Vervecchi, 2 minutes out the back. I don't think they're going to catch back up, especially the fact that we have not progressed on this descent. Hamilton fully recovered. Swerble gradually recovering, and we're approaching the bottom. 3 climbs to go, 3 down. We're over halfway, and oh shoot, this is the time I need the water. Swerble, come on. Shoot, I should have done that much earlier on the descent. There's hand up. Come on, get back up there. It's 40k to go, so this is the one and only time we have to do this. But now we're starting to go up, and Swerble, come on, find a gap. There you go. All right, and there's water done. We're up to 25 now, as things are coming back together a little bit with riders behind us. Just the 3 left off the front, and their gap down to a minute 50, so we're going a little bit faster this time in our pursuit. It's Kwiatkowski and Alaphilippe doing the work at the front, and they can certainly put up a bit of pace. Solomon, one of the best climbers, back into the peloton. We'll see if he can hang on or whether he goes out the back. He's an 82 mountain climber, but he does not have the energy, and he will get dropped, so he is out of contention for the stage. Meanwhile, Getman, who was barely hanging on before, now going out the back. Garcia Cortina also, who was dropped last time, is now dropped again. Swerble about to go out the back, and I didn't see that coming, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have used his gel, because he probably would have made it to the top, because that's, 1K. 1K. Shockman. Saragoreo out the back. Geniez slipping out the rear end again, but it looks like he might make it. Kwiatkowski is now done with quite the turn. 2 big climbs that he put in. Hamilton doing all right. The next climb much shorter, and the final climb not so bad. We should be in that final climb. Down to 2 riders off the front, 17 in the peloton, and Swerble is now quite a ways behind already. He lost almost 2 minutes in that final 1K. So very unfortunate. He is given a little bit of pursuit here, but it looks like his day is done. So it is just Hamilton. Just Hamilton to the end, hanging on. He is currently P7 overall, and we're down to a very small select group here. Just 17 here in the peloton, just 2 off the front. So just 19 riders left in some sort of contention here, but I would imagine the entirety of the top 10 is contained within this group. Hamilton fully recovered, fresh, ready to go for the final 24K. This climb will hurt, and there won't be a lot of recovery, so we don't want to do anything crazy on this climb. Minute 5 to the 2 riders who are now together. They are Gegenhardt and Björk Lambrecht. And yes, of course, Lambrecht, the late Lambrecht, is in this one. I am blinking red, but as long as I'm not going backwards, I will allow myself to drift a little bit. It's only 17 riders here, so it's going to be real clear if we are too far back and have a problem brewing. It's just 3.5K to the top, so we want to conserve as much energy. Like I said, it is a short descent, so there's not going to be much recovery. Now, we're drifting back pretty quick, so it's not good. We're going to speed up just a little bit here. Hold our position a little better, things leveling off for a little bit, and we return to our strong position at the front so we can back off a little bit again. Just 40 seconds now. There's Gegenhardt and Lambrecht. Gino Mader, the one chasing them down for Sky.
Another attack in the leading group.
Lambrecht attacking, going for KOM points, it looks like. Leaving Gegenhardt behind. Gegenhardt riding for Mitchelton Scott. That's different. All right, so we pull in Gegenhardt, and we've dropped 2 riders out the back, Geniez and Kwiatkowski. So Kwiatkowski just now dropped.
To the finish line.
It is now 16 riders chasing just 1 rider. Let's make sure we don't get dropped here, because it does look like there's about to be a gap forming with those front 5. We did not use too much energy, so we're doing okay there. Quintana in the leader's jersey. Yes, Quintana is leading this race and the favorite to win this climb. And here we go, 11K to go. 1 rider left off the front. Just 16 in the peloton. Mader, Carapaz, Alfali, Bardet, Quintana, Willems, Nibali, Roglic is here. Donovan is here. 9K to go, and we are at the base of the final climb. Col de la Galina, 7.5K. And Bardet attacks. Quintana is going to attack. We're going to have to go with it. We're going to have to go with this. Okay, and sit up. Next attack. Bernal.
The pace is so high that a few
Gel.
riders are going to be very sore at the end of the day.
Okay, I'm in a group of 4 chasing Bernal. I'm going to let them chase him. This is what I wanted. Small group. Oh, it's back together. Dang it. Gel has kicked in. 5.7K to the top. Now we just want to sit in position. 14 riders now. Bernal is off the front though. Quintana doing the chasing. This group will thin out. I am blinking red, but I'm not actually going backwards. Okay, here comes the big attack.
And off he goes. He's giving it one last go.
And that's just Quintana who got off the front. Let's sit in place. We are now 12 chasing just 2. Bernal back in the group? Or is... No. We left behind... who was off the front? Lambrecht. Lambrecht was caught and dropped. We have 9 riders. Oh, shoot. I'm out of energy.
This climb is feared by many riders. The percentages are very high.
Okay, we are with Donovan, Mader, Carapaz, climbing our way to the top. Moss in front of us. There goes the other group, turning a high pace. We're just losing this in the last 2 kilometers. Coming back at Moss, that's good. Mader pulling it back for Donovan.
There goes the sprint. The strong men are giving their all.
700 meters, we are not far behind, but there will be a little bit of time loss here. We're 8:24 down overall. Roglic takes the stage before Quintana. Bernal takes 3rd. Already 30 seconds. 500 meters to go. Bardet, Yates, Nibali. Okay, sprint it out. Okay, there's your top 6. Moss is going to go 7th. We're in a good spot. Donovan, and we'll pull in right behind him. Same group, 2:15 down. So Hamilton takes 9th on the stage. Carapaz, Mader. Swerble, 1.4K to go. 1K to go. Let's start inching our way forward. 700 meters. 400 meters. Come on. Wow, Swerble. He was moving upward and then suddenly moving backward. Apparently a lot of guys saved energy. There's Solomon way back here. Kwiatkowski has dropped all the way to here. Those are all the guys that were dropped around the time that Swerble was dropped or after. Valverde. There's Conchi, Asgreen. Ben King just now making it across the line. That's going to shake up the standings a little bit, but I think for the most part, Lucas Hamilton should be right about where he was because he came in Moss, Donovan, himself, Carapaz, Mater. The 6 that finished in front, I think, are pretty much the 6 that were already in front of Hamilton in the standings. We'll see if that's the case, but I do not with 100% confidence, but I am relatively confident that Hamilton has done enough to keep his position. Because there's the first guys, and here's Moss right there, and there we are. There's Hamilton right at the back of the group, so just right around the corner. Of course, right around the corner is a little bit of time. It's 2:12, but 20 seconds to Moss, less than 20 seconds to Moss, and just the small gaps in front of us shouldn't hurt too much. But let's find out. Did it hurt? No, we keep 7th. So Quintana in the race lead. He will win as we head into Madrid. Roglic second by 1 second over Egan Bernal. So Roglic steals second place on the podium by beating Bernal by just 21 seconds here and claiming it by a single second. Bardet is 4th. Simon Yates is 5th. All 5 of them relatively tight at 3 minutes. Nibali at 7. Hamilton at 10:33 and still 2+ minutes ahead of Moss and Donovan, who we came essentially in with, or within a few seconds of. Bookman dropped quite a bit of time. Carapaz was with us. Alaphilippe finishes 12th. Asgreen, Gegenhardt, Chernetsky, and Solomon in 16th. So for us, that is an excellent result. Continental Pro rider taking 7th place at La Vuelta. Simon Yates will take the sprint jersey by a single point over Bardet, though I suppose that is still up for grabs. Bernal in it. Sagan. Oh, there you go. Sagan in it, just 11 points down. Sagan has a real chance of taking it, as the rest of these guys obviously are climbers until you get to Viviani, but Viviani at 37 points behind is probably too far back. Lambrecht will take the KOM jersey over Ben King, stolen on the final climbing stage, that is. Hamilton is 2nd in the under 25s to Egan Bernal. And Team Sky will win the team competition, but we manage in 8th place. Again, considering what we brought to the party, that is an excellent result as we head to the final stage. And of course, this will be a flat sprint stage through Madrid. We'll take it through the final kilometers, but otherwise, let's skip to that ending. Riding through Madrid, 6 riders in the break. They only have a 1-minute lead, 20k to go. They'll be pulled back quite easily. In fact, it's already under 40 seconds, under 30 seconds.
And he sprints away in attack.
Pace of the chase has been pretty hot. Let's go ahead and bring it back down, and we are seeing splits right now, actually. Just 24 in the front, but it's back together, at least for the moment. We need to make sure, pace-wise, that we are trying to hold on at the front. Hamilton was in that small group. We'll see if any more splits emerge, and if the pace stays where it is. It's just 13.5k to go, so this would actually be a good time to set up a sprint train, but we're not a sprint team, and we're not going to contend the sprint at all, so really, we're just hanging on to a position through these final, now 12k. So speed it back up. 10k to go. 1 rider off the back, and definitely getting dropped quick, so there has been some damage. We're coming up on 6k. Let's go ahead and use everyone's gel. 83, a group off the back, and they are not coming back. I wonder if there was any Lambrecht, Moss in that group behind us. Already, these guys are taking off, going for it. Hamilton's here. I think we need to attack and make sure we don't lose any time. Cohen Conchi a little further up the road, but let's take Hamilton, Veldeman, Simpson, Swerble. We're going to go with a little 4-man sprint train here. So Hamilton, Veldeman, Simpson, Swerble. Veldeman's the sprinter here, so let's get him to lead out Hamilton. Swerble, Simpson. Simpson, you're going to go full sprint already. That's what you call a sprint, apparently. Swerble, nice job holding his wheel. No, not really.
Victory for Peter
Sagan takes the stage. That's going to give him the points jersey. There's nothing left to go for. It's 300 meters. There's the race leaders coming in now. Veldeman can't even go around Swerble.
This stage was a real strength sapper.
We'll see. There's a big split right there. And there are riders behind. And I believe they do include Moss. Yes, Moss and Donovan. Moss and Donovan have lost significant time here. I wonder how big was the gap. Right? Were we in front of Moss or behind Moss in the standings? Nibley was just in front of us. I think we were already ahead of both of them, so I think it just opened up the gap a little bit further as those guys got caught up in a late crash here on the final stage. So the big news is Sagan is going to take the points jersey. Nibley takes 19th, so I don't think Hamilton's position is going to be affected, but other riders in the top 10 look to have lost a couple minutes time, or have they? Minute 56 from 88, 232, and yes, there's Donovan and Moss, 232 down. And Cameron Meyer and Martin Tusfeld don't make it home. Thomas Gann finishes 5:30 behind. So the standings, Quintana wins, Roglic second, Bernal, Bardet, Yates, and Nibley, and they were right behind me. Bookman goes ahead of them, so Bookman goes from 10th to 8th. Our gap opens up even wider behind us, but Moss and Donovan finish the race on the same time, both slipping a spot. Carapaz 11th, Alaphilippe still 12th. And Lewis Hamilton finishes the race in P7. Conchi finishes in 26th. Swerble 36th and Vervecchi 38th. And only one rider was eliminated on time. The large majority of the others were withdrawals, including Adam Yates, Wout Poels, Jan Izagirre, Uran, Lopez, Port, Thomas. That is a lot of big names out of this race. Just 115 riders finishing it. The man in 115th was 7 hours behind race winner Nairo Quintana. And yes, Sagan does take the sprint jersey on the final day away from Simon Yates. Bjork Lambrecht claims the KOM. Of course, Bernal takes the under 25s. Hamilton did take second. Conchi even was up there in 7th. And as a team, we do round up in 8th place. What a race, though. What a race. That's a big, big result for us. And speaking of, now that that is behind us, how does that affect the results? For one thing, we're only 30th. We're definitely just Continental Pro. But as a team, World Tour rankings, 22nd, we move up one spot, 1,100 points. Continental, leading the way comfortably. And in the Super Prestige, we are 15th. 3,888 points. Let's see if we can break 4,000 before the end of the season. About a month left, just a handful of races to go. We are at the World Time Trial Championships. So this is team time trial. And we set off. Let's go ahead and first set everyone to a 99. We want to go full blast here, and it also would help if it would give me control with one of our riders. There we go. Alright, so here's what we have. It's 6 rider limit. We've brought Veldeman, who today looking pretty dang good on a +2. It's going to give him a 73 time trial. The race distance at 42.5 kilometers is full time trial, so no prologue. It is almost flat throughout. We have a climb here very, very early on. We have another bit of a climb just after the checkpoint and one more later. So 3 shorter climbs, a couple little hilly areas, but otherwise it's flat for most of the distance, meaning the time trial and resistance ratings are the only ones that will be taken into account for the most part, except during those short climbs. So, looking up and down the list, we want relatively short turns for a lot of the guys. 99 might be too hard, but we don't expect to finish with everyone. I don't know for sure what the cutoff is. Is it 5 riders? Is it 4 riders? I don't know. Generally, it's 5 when you have 8. So you could afford to drop 3 riders. Here, I don't know if we can only drop 1 rider, or can we afford to drop more. I would imagine it's probably only the first 4, maybe even the first 3, but I would imagine it's 4 of the 6, but I can't say for certain. This is the first time I've actually had an invite to the World Team Time Trial Championship. So, Veldeman is a 73. Today, Case Bull, 72. DeVos is a 65. He's weak. We can afford to have him dropped. He's a -2 today. His resistance is a 65. DeVos is not going to help us. DeVos, by the way, his fitness peak ended yesterday, 24 hours ago. Otherwise, he would have actually had a decent rating. 73 for Conchi, 71 for Hamilton, and a 76 for Cohen. Nice. 74 on the resistance as well. So DeVos is the first guy that we will burn out. We'll set him for a little bit longer, and he's definitely going to stay on 99 even if the others end up having to back off, but we'll give him some extra seconds and know that he will get dropped. So we'll try to attack this as best we can. I know this first climb is going to hurt a little bit. We're already on it now. Veldeman finishes his turn going through Case Bull. We are among the contenders for this, but not contender to win, just contender to get a top 10 placing. So, looking initially, Hamilton, Cohen, Bull, yeah, those guys are all good. DeVos is the one that's definitely going to struggle and fade and get dropped from this, and that is okay. We will burn him out. I think the other guys are in decent enough shape. DeVos, the only one who's in a negative right now as we begin our second set of turns through a quarter of the way through this race. So it looks like we're on for about 4 turns for each rider. DeVos will get dropped, but I think everyone else is going to be able to hang on. So our 99s does seem to be a good thing. We are catching the team in front of us there in red, whoever that might be. And as we approach the checkpoint, we'll see how we compare to the other teams. I think we were the 12th team to set off, which is about halfway through. Right through first place so far. Nice. Okay, we are in good shape starting out. First half of the teams. We are the quickest by a comfortable margin. Even Sunweb is a minute 52 behind. Lotto NL Jumbo, Bora Hansgrohe, Bahrain Merida, Katusha Alpecin, Dimension Data, all behind us. And the first teams coming in towards the finish now. Let's get an update on where we're at. We just went through the second short climb. the biggest climb of the day still to come, but we are doing okay, it looks like. DeVos, yes, is a negative. He will get dropped, but Feldman, Case Bull, Conchi, Hamilton, all doing okay, and Cohen is definitely doing good, and we can rely on those guys late to turn the screw, especially once DeVos is dropped. I think we'll try to aim for 5 riders just in case. Can't afford to have the 4th man cross the line and the 5th man be 300 meters behind, and then suddenly they decide that they're going to take the time. Of course, they're not suddenly deciding. I just don't know what the difference is. Here's the climb. Case Bull rolls through. DeVos is going to finish his turn right now. I think he is going to be done here as soon as he is finished. Make sure he's going to pull us over the top, which is not a bad thing. His turn is done, and DeVos is going to get dropped. Oh, whoa, Cohen, what is going on? Okay, he closed the gap. It's okay. And there we go. DeVos out the back. Now, 8 kilometers to the end, and it's going to be flat from here. We're going to want our strongest guys to turn the screw a little bit harder, a little bit longer, like Cohen just now coming to the front. We definitely want him with some extra time because he can really help us pull out every second that we could possibly get. Back at the start, it's still us on top through 16 teams. We are putting in a fantastic time so far. Okay. Veldeman, we don't want Veldeman on the front for very long. Okay, he's coming off the front now. That's good. Cohen, why are we allowing gaps to open? Bull pulls off the front, and we've nearly caught this team in front of us, which is awesome. 1.5K to go. Conchi working. Hamilton rolls through to the front. Coming up on the finish. And there it is. We are the quickest at the finish, ahead of 9 teams so far. So we are the 10th team to cross the line. But back at the start, 19 teams, and we are still the quickest through 19 teams. Dimension Data, second. Who is behind us? These guys. BMC, 41 down. Groupama FDJ, but we're still 38 seconds clear of everybody through 20 teams. There's that Ljubljana. Dimension Data. Haven't seen them cross the line. Oh, yes, we've seen Dimension Data and Bora Hansgrohe. So we're seeing a lot of those top teams all behind us. 14 teams across the line, and we have a 49-second lead right now. 16 teams have crossed. There's still some top teams to go, though. We're seeing 20 times here. I don't know if there are additional teams still coming. But we are still quickest. Groupama FDJ comes 26 seconds behind. They were 4th at the time check, but they were only 4 seconds out of it. They definitely moved up. Aqua Blue has moved up. That's 20 teams at the finish, so we're getting very close to the end here. BMC just 7th. Katusha Alpecin, a team we still need to watch out for. No, they come in 9th. Could it be? Could it be? Could this be a victory? It is! It is! Holy cow! World Championship Team Time Trial victory with a time of 50 minutes and 12 seconds. And yes, it was 5 riders. They did take the time of 5 riders. So good thing I didn't allow us to drop it to 4. That was a 5-rider set. They took it on the 5th man. 26-second victory over Groupama FDJ. 42 seconds to Aqua Blue. Dimension Data 49. Borhansgro 52. And yes, it was five riders. They took the time on the 5th rider. 6th rider, you can see Groupama FDJ came in with all 6. Their 6th rider finished 2 seconds back. And speaking of, where did ours finish? Wow, DeVos 6:48 behind. 6:48 behind. That's how far down he finished. We got him up that climb. He got us over that climb, and that's where he was dropped, right here, near the end. That's a good distance away, but that's a massive time loss. But we committed him to a long, hard effort. He helped push us, get us ahead, burnt him out earlier, and we just, 3 guys just had a little bit of energy left. 4th guy had a little bit more, and really only Cohen was still looking pretty strong at the end and could have pushed even more. But we end up winning the team time trial at the World Championships. Hell yeah. I think that's the greatest achievement we've had. That was unexpected. It was truly unexpected. I did not think we would contend for the top. I thought we would maybe contend to crack the top 5, and I was going to feel really good about a 4th or 5th place. I didn't think a podium was in the works, and I certainly didn't think that we were going to win. I have no idea what kind of points that is worth, if it's worth any points. We were at 388. Well, we're up about 300 points from where we were. So yes, it is worth points as we push over 4,000 for the season. Nice. Okay. Well, that was a pleasant surprise. We're also approaching the end of the year. We've got just a few races to go. A sprint, a slightly punchy sprint. Vendée, we might cover this one. I think that'll be the next race we see. Paris Tour, might skip that one. I think we might just do Vendée and Chrono des Nations. That's your individual time trial classic. And is that the last race, or is there any more after that one? No, that's our last race. So this is it. This is all that's left on the calendar. 5 dates, and we'll skip 3 of them. Paris Tour is, well, an objective. Not that that matters at all at this point. But I'll see you at the Tour de Vendée. 120k to go. We just recently grabbed water, and that was Adam DeVos, and that was because we've been through a single cobbled section, and we've had the entire race's first puncture, and it was Adam DeVos. So he went from the front to the, it was a very skinny section, so the peloton was very, very stretched out. He went from the front to the rear of the peloton, but never went out the back. By the time he got his puncture taken care of, I went ahead and sent him on the task of getting water, and so he actually had to drop further back to do that. First group of riders start to get dropped. Staples going backwards and relatively quick, but I don't expect any breakups, so everyone's at kind of an 81 right now, so we are slipping back, but I'm not worried about anything. There's just that handful of riders that are really, really going backwards.
Yet another flat tire. It seems to be catching.
There's a back-to-back here, and the second one is just 1 star, 1.5k, so we don't worry about this one. The first one is far more intense, and that's the worrying one that will split the field later on. Largely split the field. It split the field this time, really, but 98 riders is still a large group. Meanwhile, there is Staples halfway back, and not a whole lot of energy left, but he'll recover. We've got quite a while before the next section. And there you go. He is back in the group. Peloton back at 119 or 54, somewhere there's a split in there. Is there wind to contend with today? There is now rain, and there is wind, 17 kilometers per hour, but we kind of weave back and forth in one small area. Let's bring it on down because there's just a lot going on in a race like this one. Unfortunately, there's a ton of glitches in this modded race course as we ride through buildings, and it just overlaps constantly. Whoever put this one together really did not vet their work, and it was just loaded with mistakes. So now things are going to intensify a bit, so we need to pick up the pace. We're going to push it to an 84 here this time to try to make sure that we do stay up on it as we get through. 3-star cobblestone section. This is cobblestones 5, 2.2k. This one shouldn't be too bad, but you can see it is doing some damage. And again, as we hit the next section, we're going to have to push even harder. So the 84 that we have now won't last. Staples, first one to go. He is fading. Peloton down to 60 right now, but Staples makes it through. He's going to get his position. We'll see if he recovers at all, though. And as we're down to 68k, this is actually the time to get water. So Swirble, it's a small Peloton. Go ahead and get it. Come on, he hasn't even put a hand up yet. There we go. Okay, he didn't bother putting his hand up, but he did go to the rear. He did get water. And we still have plenty of time before the next section, and he's got enough energy, so he should complete the job. There you go, 62k to go, and everybody got water, so we should have enough to get to the end. 113 in the Peloton now, 8 in the break. They have a 2-minute 50-second lead. That will crumble pretty quickly when the pace picks up here, but the road just got really skiddy. But we turn back onto a wider section as we approach the next one. Staples hanging on, Swirble hanging on, but they are getting close to that next section, so let's go ahead and use their gels. Let's also pick up the pace of everyone. We're going to go to an 88. 4-star section, 3.5k. What is that? Avignon-la-Sec, I want to say. Could be wrong. Sorry, French, not my forte. But Staples already going backwards. Staples was protecting our leader, Veldeman, so Guyard needs to take over that duty. Swirble now fading. He was protecting Van Ginneken. Van Ginneken is our second best, not Bull. So we need to make sure that we protect him now. Bull will ride solo. And Staples has been dropped. Swirble now dropped. And we're down to 44 in the Peloton. Oh, hello. We've got a temporary split here. I think these 18 will remake contact. They're right here. Yeah, it's a 1-star section coming. They will. They'll regain contact. So I won't worry about chasing. I think we're rolling through that 1-star section right now. And we still haven't regained contact, by the way. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go protect, and we're going to go relay. We need to make sure we actually regain that contact, and never mind, there it is. We need to get back into a front position. There's only 2 sections to go. And we've got 5 riders left in the group. This is fantastic. We're going to just ease our way to the front. DeVos. 43 racers. 43 riders chasing 7. They still have a minute 45. And you can see the pace. DeVos, how hard it was for him to get to the front. Case Bull, Van Ginneken. Yeah, they're returning to the front like they should. Now, we're going to have to step this up to about a 90 to hang on through that next one. 26 riders behind us, just a minute behind. We've got to keep an eye on them to make sure that's not far. They could make contact. That could bring us back to 66 riders. One of the front riders is dropped, so the pace up there is taking its toll. If one has been dropped, you got to be certain that there's 1, 2, or 3 more that are on the verge as well, possibly the entire group. Veldeman looking very strong at this point. Let's go ahead and go 92, make sure nothing happens here. And Peloton's starting to shrink. 1 rider left at the front, so 5 of them were just dropped. We're still a minute 24 behind, though. Catch is not a given. And all 7 back together for now. Minute 15 is the gap as we approach that next section. Through this lap, here's that little skinny section, but we're going to take the left up here and go back onto the wider road again. DeVos, Van Ginneken, Bol, all pushed back a little bit though. Peloton up to 55, so we do pull in that other group, but not the entire group. So some of them were dropped chasing us. You can see that Gouillard, DeVos, even Case Bol all struggling at this point, meaning there is a good amount of pace in this group. And you can definitely see the chase is now on. We're pulling back the breakaway. It's down to a minute. And here we go. We're just about into the section. 4 stars. 3.5K to go. Let's go at 93. Not everybody's gel, but let's use your guys' gel. Thank you. It's a little late for this, but we'll see if it works. Veldeman's the main one. Make sure that he stays forward. Okay, Gouillard's fading. Big split here. Big split coming. Bol, Van Ginneken hanging on to the gap. DeVos has been dropped. 36 riders left. Gouillard has been dropped. Van Ginneken and Bol are dropped. So those guys to auto. So Veldeman, the only one left. We have 19 riders. There are 3 that have pulled away just a little bit. 16K to go. We've got 1 more section. We'll catch those 3. It's okay. And there's 1 more rider in front of them. Oliver Nassen. So Jens Debucher, Turgis, Alrust has been dropped. We're not chasing very well. 40 seconds. 12K. And we're going to have to sit up, let these guys do some chasing. 39 seconds. Hopefully I'm not riding for 4th place now.
Another flat tire. 10 kilometers remaining.
The gap's going the wrong way. Nobody's chasing hard enough. 52 seconds. Those 3 are pulling away. Since I went off the front, they've pulled out 20 seconds. I'm going to have to attack this group to go for 4th. It's a minute and 4. Use our gel now. And let's attack this group.
Kilometers to the finish line.
Gotta save some. Didn't do the trick. We pulled back 10 seconds real quick, but nobody is fooled. Nobody is dropped. 4.5K to go. And we are now fighting for 4th place because the gap goes right back out. So nobody in this group willing to put in the work until we get 1 more man trying to attack. They're covering me, but not each other. 1.5K to go. Oi. 900 meters. Nassen takes the win. Debucher, Turgis, Kukalair, who attacked there late. Ruiz, Tony Martin. We're going to get 7th. Veldeman 7th. It's not a bad result, but it could have been more. Those 3 got away, and nobody wanted to chase them down. except for myself. And then Kukalair at the end just decided to attack the group the way I did. Nobody pursued him, everybody pursued me, but I did drop quite a few of those riders at the end. It was just 6 of us chasing the 3 at the finish, and that counts Kukalair and Ruiz and Martin, who attacked just over 1k out. And then we took that next spot, so we were the 4th, Wisniewski and Boyer with us. So just through 9th, De Vries, Maurice on back were all dropped. So it worked to an extent, but it was Alroost. Alroost was the one who really made it happen, as he went off the front with Debuchere and Turgis, chasing down Oliver Nawson, the one survivor of the breakaway, I believe. Unless he also got away and got out further than them, but I believe he was the last rider of the breakaway. Just a single race to go. I'm already over time for this episode, but this is going to be the final episode not only of the season, but of the series. So let's go ahead and move forward to our final race. One of our top contenders, Nicola Conchi, just setting off. Our other favorite is Alexander Cohen. He'll be the last one to go. So far, Veldeman crossed the line. He is currently 8th place, and Hamilton actually in the race lead by 6 seconds ahead of Arthur Vichot. Turns out 74, the majority of the way, is the way to go. And then the final, depending on how strong the rider is doing, the final anywhere from 5 to about 10 kilometers, they'll be able to push 75. DeVos, it looks like it won't be until very late that he's able to push on, as he's now at 12k, and you can see he's kind of right at that mark of really probably having to hold on to a 74, possibly all the way to the end. 10k to go for him, and he's right about level, so 74 is the right place. He is on a -2. He is only a 65 in the time trial, so DeVos is probably going to be the worst time that we end up with here in the Chrono des Nations final race of the year. And so far, so good, with a lead in this race. DeVos it looks like he's going to actually run out in the final few hundred meters, but otherwise he's coming in strong. I mean, he's at least catching the rider in front of him. 1k to go, and he just ran out of energy, so he's not going to attack this end very well. 24, 3 minutes behind for him, and we now focus on Conchi, who's already catching the rider in front of him, and he's not even halfway through the race. Hamilton and Veldeman both catching multiple riders, but late. Conchi catching somebody pretty early on and has energy to spare, so looking really good at this point as he is about to pass Cabot. $20k to go. Still looking good on energy, and Casebowl is just about ready to set off. He's a 69 today, so it's not going to be a great time for him, but we'll hold true to our 74, which is working pretty well. You can see Conchi now is probably able to push. He's 16 kilometers from the end, and I think we can start pushing that 75 already. Cohen still 19 riders away before he goes, so there's a lot of riders still to come, especially team leaders. So Lucas Hamilton's time probably not going to hold. Can Hamilton hang on to a top 10? Maybe just. Probably more like a top 15 for him, I would imagine, by the end. But Conchi's time, he's still looking good. His 75, nothing wrong with holding this. I think he can hold this 75 till the end and still attack the final few hundred meters. 6k to go. 5k to go. Looking at catching another rider. And yes, he does have some energy to spare. We're going to push even harder now. 77. 2k to go. Turning to the finish, and we're going to attack the finish. And yes, into the lead ahead of his teammate by a minute 12. What a time for Conchi. That will hold on to a top time. Here's Alaphilippe. Is it Julian, though? No, it's Brian Alaphilippe, his brother. Hey, Spole. Or is it his cousin? I think it's his brother. Case Bull moving ahead of him, even though he is just a 69 on the time trial. But this is similar to what Veldeman did, and Veldeman just now slipping out of the top 10. So Veldeman is 11th. Hamilton already down to 4th place. So Matthias Frank and Sylvain Dillier coming in between them. This is what I said about Hamilton. He's going to probably... Oh, 1 second. 1 second behind Frank. He's probably going to slip out of the top 10, probably into the top 15 sort of range. Conchi, though, that time certainly should hang on to a top 10, as Cohen is now setting off. Cohen setting off. Set him to a 74. He's a 75 today on the time trial. He could and should be our best rider. He is above Conchi. So we'll see if he can produce the kind of time we would expect and go quicker than Conchi and hang on to a top 5. Conchi a top 10. And Hamilton maybe top 15. What will Case Bull do? Can he get himself into a similar or better position than Veldeman? 13K to go. He's got a little bit of energy to spare, but not much, so we're going to hang on to a 74 for now. 12K to go. I think at about 8K we can step him up to a 75. 10K to go, and you see it's just barely any spare energy for him. Alright, let's go back to ×2. Alright, 8.5K to go, and yes, let's go ahead and step it up to a 75. Case Bull, let's see if we can make up a little bit more time towards the end here. Cohen's already through the hardest section, and his energy is neutral, meaning he should be able to go to a 75 even earlier than Conchi probably did. Case Bull's 75 looks to be about right for the end here. He'll be able to attack the last couple 100 meters, but that's it. He's going to round this corner, and here we go. Attack the end, and he runs out of energy with about 20 seconds to go. He gets 15th, so he's just behind, 17 seconds behind Veldeman. And now it's Cohen to the end, our top rider. Our best time trialist, just a little bit better than Conchi. And it's Conchi still in the race lead. Hamilton still in the top 5. Scott Davies has gone 3rd quickest, but otherwise Hamilton still in a really strong position. And meanwhile, Veldeman has only slipped 1 spot himself into 12th. Cohen's number is 51, so there's 5 riders after him. But otherwise, he will be in kind of the final group approaching the finish. Meaning by now, everybody should be about half done. Cohen, lots of energy to spare. 16K to go. I think it's time to push a 76 all the way to the end. He just went through the little climb and it did not hurt him. He still has energy to spare. You get one little slight uphill section coming, otherwise it's flat to the end. Not as much energy to spare though. I think we need to back off to a 75. 7K to go. $5K to go. Okay, let's push back to that 76. 2.5K, approaching the end. Conchi drops to 2nd, but here comes Cohen. Here comes Cohen, attacking the end. Oh, 2nd place, 14 seconds behind. He goes 1 second faster than Nicola Conchi. 5 riders left. We will definitely be in the top 5. But we are slipping 3rd and 4th now. Hamilton has slipped to 12th. Veldeman is 20th. Alex Dowsett, next one to the line. He is 5th quickest. Quentin Ermino, 2nd quickest. I think he was the last rider. He was. So, just off the podium. Cohen, 4th. Conchi, 5th. So close. So close to a podium, but at least it is not only a top 5, but 2 riders in the top 5 is pretty dang good. And amazingly, just 1 second separating them. We actually get the overall team competition out of this one. Not that that means anything, but hey, they're there's a little trophy, some kisses on the cheeks, and some flowers. So, hooray, flowers. That's pretty crazy. It's just 1 second. 48 kilometers and 1 second separated Cohen and Conchi. Hamilton finishes 14th, so he does just get inside the top 15. Veldeman just outside of the top 20. Still a top 25, though. In 22nd. Pretty good result as a team. Amarel, Ermino, and Pila, whatever it is. 3 Frenchmen on top. Alex Dowsett was the highest placed World Tour rider in 6th. Not exactly the cream of the crop coming to this race, though. Now that is the season done. Sponsor happy. 537,000 in the bank, so $500,000. Looking really good in a lot of areas. Quickstep finishes as the best team in terms of talent. We would enter next season as the 30th best. We're still only in the middle of Continental Pro, but you can see that the index, it's crazy just how good everyone is. We are nearly a 4-star team now, but that's not enough. In my 2019 series, things have been nerfed a bit, and we are on the verge of making the World Tour pretty much right exactly where we are right now. 3.5, very, very nearly 4 stars, and that's going to be enough to qualify about 15th. Individually, it's Nairo Quintana ahead of Bardet and Dumoulin in the World Tour rankings. We are nowhere to be seen in those standings. Lewis Hamilton on 120th. In the Continental, Hamilton is 3rd behind Gessner and Yermakov. Conchi is 5th. Bax is 7th. So good team effort, not necessarily an individual dominant. And in the Super Prestige, Quintana, Lopez, and Sagan are your team leaders, or individual leaders. Hamilton is 29th. Victories for the year, Yermakov, Sagan, Yermakov with 20, Sagan, Aberasturi, and Brian Cockard with 16 each, Gaviria with 15. And we don't get anyone with more than 8 out there. Brian Alaphilippe, we just saw. 8 victories for him. That's a good year. It's better than his brother, who's not on the list. How did that happen? Okay, now onto the team. The one that matters for us. Quickstep is the World Tour champion this year, ahead of Sky and Sunweb. Sunweb just outpacing Movistar for the last podium spot in the team competition. As a team, World Tour points, we didn't get too many World Tour races, but we do manage to still go 22nd best. But we do win the Continental by a huge margin. And in the Super Prestige, we end up all the way up to 13th place, moving up there at the end. We do finish with over 4,000 points, 4,429 to be exact, and I do think we just barely outpaced last season. I want to say last season was 4,370-ish, so about 50 points up from a year ago, only slightly more. But a lot of that came down to that World Team Time Trial Championship that we won. Holy cow, that I think goes down as the team's biggest achievement. Speaking of, we have 25 victories on the entirety of the season. Not a ton this year, but I did quick sim a lot of races. In the world rankings, Colombia on top, at least for World Tour. France and the Netherlands next best. Italy, Belgium, Netherlands for continental rankings. The US all the way down to 14th. And in the Super Prestige, US up to 13th, which of course a lot of our riders were from there, but also quite a few from around the world, so not necessarily a US-based team. Colombia is the easy champion this year. France, the UK, and the Netherlands, and then Spain are your top 5. So I wanted to look at here as we wrap this puppy up. Let's go ahead and no, not this one. This one. Season. 4 victories for Hamilton, 3 for Conchi, 4 for Bax, 3 for Osorio, 3 for Veltman. Really spread out this year. 2 for Marini. De Vos had 2, Van Ginken had 1, and Cohen had 3 victories on the year. Gouillard never managed to get a victory, unfortunately. Given a couple of years, he could be a major winner, I would think, because of the sprint speed that he has. The acceleration getting better at 76. It's just the resistance that is god-awful at a 64. Just horrendously bad. Given time, I'm sure he could be quite good. All he needs to do is level up 1 or 2 times and see that resistance jump to near 70, and he could just start crushing it in a lot of sprints, and he could beat a lot of World Tour riders even. Continental rankings, Hamilton was 3rd, Conchi was 5th, Bax was 7th, and you can see everybody scoring points outside of our weakest riders, Staples, Fuentes, and Simpson, going scoreless on the year. Even Wachtendorf managed to get 5 points. But that's a pretty solid year. 2 riders out of 76 could be leveling up anytime. Bax and Osorio 75, Veldeman at 74, and as these riders would develop, we would get better and better. Of course, we are losing Nicola Conchi at the end of the year, but we had somebody else strong coming in to replace him, and yeah, that's where we finished. So that's going to do it for this episode, for this season, and for this series. Finally, 2018 is retired officially. 2019, well, we're just a handful of months away from the release of the 2020 edition. So it doesn't have forever remaining, but we continue on with PCM 19 in the meantime. It will definitely not end prior to the start of 2020, but we'll see if I can at least wrap up those series in time. Of course, we're already down to just 2 series there, focusing on them with the career mode and our stage racer in the pro cyclist mode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Be sure to hit that like button one last time, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.